We are live, friends, family, fans. Welcome back to Back 9 Bets, episode 22. Finau or FiLater. Not sure what that means, but I think you get the gist of it. It's going to be a good one. We're off to Mexico this week, the coast of Mexico, for the Mexico Open. It's a weird field. We've got the world number John Rahm. Not sure if he's 2 or 3 right now playing, and we've got a few other guys that we like. Some outrights, first round leaders. Top 20 bets, some DFS chit-chat. Let's get into it. We got some fun stuff to go through. First off, brand new golf course. Not even going to try and name the city or the place or the name of the course, but this is the situation. We have a Model Maniac modified type scorecard here. I took the yardages from the scorecard. I minused 310 yards, which is 10 yards further than an average drive on tour, and got a random proximity range. Not a random, a very calculated proximity range. And it looks like if every drive on a hole that's not a par 3 goes 310 yards or less, you're going to land up with these proximity ranges right here. We got 22% from 250 and out, 11% from 225 to 250, 11 from 200 to 225, 22% from 175 to 200, 17 from 150 to 175, and then 11% from 125 to 150. So the general gist of the situation here is long irons is where the money is at this week. 4 par 5s, basically a lot more than that, actually. We got the 4 par 5s that are four par 5s or 548 yards long is the shortest one. And then we've got 4 more par 4s that are 496 yards or more. And then we've got another 4 more that are over 400 yards. So this is a long golf course. I don't know how much rollout there's going to be. I don't know how firm the conditions are. Like my Model Maniac hat. Pretty sweet. So we'll see what cooks. The par 3s are going to be lengthy. There's 3 of them, all over 170. So no wedges into the par 3s and let you wedge a mile. All of that jazz. So now that you know that, let's jump into the model. There's no key stats to go off of because there's no history here. So I can't rely on any historic data to put out an idea of what's going on to expect. So we just Model Maniacally modified some stuff and figured it out on our own. So let's get to it. Strokes gained approach 12% baseline, 5% last 24 rounds. Simple stuff as always. Those proximity ranges, we got 175 to 200, 150 to 175. We got that pretty weighted heavily. And then 4% for the 250 plus. I think those par 5s, if you can hit your long clubs, your woods, well, you're in shape because there's a drivable par 4 as well. Drivable par 4, 297 yards. So that's basically a driver or 3-wood for some of the chaps out there. So that's 35% total approach. Then we've got strokes gained around the green, 5%. Not too concerned about that. Resort courses typically aren't that penal around the greens. Putting, 5%. It's anyone's game. There's going to be a lot of putts hit this week. Who knows? Specific putting isn't actually specific putting. It's strokes gained total on past pollen greens. And then we've got 10% birdies and then 20% for par 5s because we've got those 4 par 5s and then we've got those other very long par 4s, which are basically par 5s. It's a par 73 that was turned into a par 71. So we've got some long holes out there. So that's why we went heavy on the par 5 percentages. And then we got strokes gained off the tee, 7%, distance 5%, good drives 5%, and last 24 rounds, we just got a bit of sprinkle 3% in there. The reason for that, wide fairways, need good drivers off the golf ball. We can gain strokes there. The accuracy, not that big of a deal. However, you're going to gain strokes off the tee, that's fine by me. Get it in the fairway if you're not a long hitter. If you are, even better. So we'll see. It's going to be tough to bounce between the bombers that we like to bet on, which I think is going to be a good strategic approach this week. Bombers with good irons. We want to bet those guys, and if there's guys like that we find in DFS that's low owned, we're going to fire away. There might be a few other guys that we have to fade that we like to bet on. So we'll see how that goes. So that's the situation. 34% for 2022, 66% for 2021 PGA Tour stats, 10% for the last 24 rounds, 80% stats, and 10% world golf ranking. That's just the usual stuff. So I want to show you right away what's cooking here. We're going to go to Jon Rahm's proximity ranges, which I would like to chat about. So here's Jon Rahm, and he, as you can tell, is fantastic from 175 and out. Extremely, extremely good from that range. Now, this is going to be a birdie fest, a putting contest. So I'm not sure how people are going to want to view Jon Rahm. I personally view him as an absolute X factor this week. He's got the driver is accurate and straight and far, and then the majority of your shots are coming from this range that he's lethal from. But he's going to have a leg up on everyone until we get to the greens, and then what happens there, who the hell knows. However, Johnny Rahm is going to be looking at some good birdie looks. He's brilliant from these ranges. The same goes for Tony Finau, champ, Carlos Ortiz, and then it gets a little sketchy down here. So I just thought I'd mention that. As you can see here, like there's a lot of yellow and orange for John's shorter wedges, and then the further away he gets is, I mean, he's extremely, extremely good from that range. Especially once you get over 200 yards. The guy's just super accurate from there relative to his peers. Don't know why I'm doing a lot of inverted commas lately, but that's the situation. Cool. So there we are. Here is Jon Rahm and friends and family. Let me just quickly find my stats. Excuse me. And then we're going to get into it. Okay. So Jon Rahm was minus 400 to finish inside the top 20 this week. So we aren't doing that. However, we do like Jon Rahm from a DFS perspective, especially if he can stay around the 25% or even under 30. I'll take him. His power rating is just ridiculously better than everybody else's. I don't know what to tell you guys. He's just so very good. I'm jumping around a lot today, but look at this power rating. It's incredible. It's just miles ahead of everyone. 3.97 is just almost 4. Like once you get into the 3s as a power rating, that's impressive on my model. So nobody else is near 3. Tony Finau is 2.43. So he's the next closest. So, you know, the odds for him to finish inside the top 20 are fair, I guess. To win at plus 400 is ridiculous when Carlos Ortiz is plus 275 to finish inside the top 20. Just crazy stuff. So anyway, Jon Rahm, we love everything about his game for this golf course. The putting and the chipping, major concern, obviously. However, I think he can get a lot of it done with his ball striking. He's so good. Look, from that range, 120, 175 to 250, he's the best in the field. So that's what you like to see. Par fives, he's the best. Birdie or better percentage, he's the best. Baseline stuff, obviously the last 24 rounds, chipping and putting, bit of a situation. However, his biggest weakness is his wedges. We will most likely be avoiding that for the most part at this golf course. So that's what we love about Jon Rahm. We'll be sending him into a few of the DFS lineups for sure. Obviously, can't bet him. He's unbettable. And then when you bet when you put Rahm into a DFS lineup, it's $7,740 you have left over for your next 5. So we on Back Nine Bets have made sure that we have some plays that are under $7,500, which we will be going to, even some 6-6 guys, I think. So we'll get there. We will get there. But Johnny Rahm, DFS play, I am playing him. I like this golf course, sets up well for him. It's going to be fun to watch him hit those long irons. This golf course is very long. Just saying, it's very long. And he hits those long irons well. I've harped on about that enough. Next up, Tony Finau, outright winner, 30-1. Tony Finau is coming in hot as our first outright. Jon Rahm, I mean, couldn't bet on Jon Rahm, so we went to Tony at 30-1. Love that number. I don't know if that's out there anymore. I think it's down to 25. Still, he's the second best player in the field in my model. And we're going to Tony for a top 20 at plus 140 on DraftKings. So we love that from Tony Finau. And then, you know what we do like about Tony is that he's second in the field from 175 and out behind Jon Rahm. So that's nice. We know his putting has been terrible the last 24 rounds. Terrible putting and the chipping too. But this resort course, slower greens, past pollen greens, maybe it helps Tony get his stuff together. I don't know what to tell you. Other than we got Tony for an outright in the top 20. And probably throw him into a few DFS lineups too. 17% is steep, but it seems like he is a premium, superior ball striker in this field. The putting, major issue. But different greens, slower greens, different country, the whole shebang. My buddy's dad saw him the other day, said he's going to win the Masters. Tony said he'll try. Maybe he thinks in the Mexican Masters or something. I don't know. We'll see what cooks. Tony Finau, 30-1. Top 20 plus 140. Off the tee, good stuff. His par 5 scoring also, fantastic stuff. Love to see that from Tony. Second in the field, par 5 scoring, and makes a decent chunk of birdies. 5% of birdies. Love Tony. Love Tony. Next up, $10,300, Abraham Answer. Massive distance discrepancies between Jon Rahm and Tony Finau to Abe Answer. But he hits his driver in the fairway all the time. So, I mean, around these big fairways, who knows how many he's actually going to land up missing. I don't know. There's nothing about Abe Answer. He's the third guy in my model, but nothing seems to pop to me. If this ownership goes down or gets under 10%, why not? His approach play recently hasn't been that good, but he's not terrible from 175 and out. Can still hit it close. So that's what we like about Abe. Not a lot more. Nothing X factor-ish sticks out about him. He's just solid. So there you go. Kevin Na, been hitting his irons crazily well lately. Led the field in approach at Augusta. Fantastic around the greens. Putting is okay. He typically can be a very good putter. Scores very well on the par 5s. So we like Kevin Na's par 5 scoring. Birdie or better, also very nice. If you like that kind of thing, go there. But I'm going to be doing most of my lineups with Jon Rahm and Tony Finau. Gary Woodland. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Patrick Reed is $10,000 on DraftKings, 8% owned, and has one of the worst recent approach stats in the field. Not entirely sure what he's doing up there. Probably going to win the tournament now that we say that. However, this is just atrociously mispriced. And if he's 8%, there's other guys that we like more than that are around about 8%. So you can keep Patrick Reed to yourself there, DraftKings. Next up, Gary Woodland is $9,900, 22% owned. One of the top guys being owned this week behind Johnny Rahm, apparently. But we're not really going to do too much in the DFS side there with Woodland, especially if we're going heavy on the top. We can't really get Woodland in there. Maybe a Finau lineup, maybe. However, Gary Woodland is 28-1 to win this goddamn golf tournament, and we are on that ticket. He's finished T21, T8, T5, T5 in his last 6 starts. He's been in contention. This is a long golf course. His distance, 6th in the field in distance. Recent approach play, 4th in the field. From 175 and out, 10th. Love, love, love all of the ball striking metrics about Gary Woodland. Accuracy, major issue for him, doesn't necessarily matter that much at this golf course. Love that about Gary Woodland. Ball striking machine. Then, par 5 scoring, 20th. Now, we know that Gary didn't play the best last year, and he was 130th in par 5 scoring. 2022 season, he's moved all the way up to 30th in par 5 scoring. So, in this field, you can call it even better than 20th because he's playing fantastic golf right now. So, his current situation is looking great. If you want to play him in DraftKings, go for it. If you haven't bet him, I've bet him, so I won't be playing him in DraftKings because I've got my exposure elsewhere. Going to be dodging that 22% ownership. We'll play Sebastian Munoz maybe, but we've got Sebastian Munoz for a plus 170 top 20. We like that. So all the guys in green over here are bets. The pink are the guys we really like. And then the blue, the turquoise, is a bunch of guys we'll be targeting. So Sebastian Munoz, first round leader. What did we get him at here? Sebastian Munoz at 40-1. Yep. That's what we like to see. And plus 170 to finish inside the top 20. He's been striking the ball fantastically with his irons lately. And really sharp around the greens too in the last 24 rounds. Putter, major concern. Slower greens, past Parliament, different country. Let's see what he can do. He hits it 1,000,000 miles as well off the tee. 42nd in driving distance. Sorry, not 1,000,000 miles, but he hits it further than most. Makes the 7th most birdies in the field and is 16th in par 5 scoring. So, first round leader, top 20. Putter just needs to show up for a little bit. If it shows up on Thursday and he hits his ball as well as he has with the long irons, it's going to be fun. So the best part about Munoz is he really does excel from 175 and out. His baseline approach play is ranked 25th. Proximity from 175 and out is 13th. So he's a much better long iron player than he is a wedge player. There you have that. So yes, Munoz plus 170, top 20, first round leader, 40-1. Let's roll. Cameron Tringali plus 155 for a top 20. Let's see what he can get up to. Also, Cameron Tringali plus 4,500 for a first round leader. 40-1 for a first round leader for Tringali. And we've got him to go outright at 37-1. I believe he's down to 35-ish or some, I don't know what the hell the number is. But there you have it. So Tringali is going to be in every single betting department that we have. Top 20, first round leader, outright. If he has himself a week, we have ourselves a week. It'll be fun. Let's see what he can get up to. Why do we like him? Well, he's a really solid all-round player. Recently, the off the tee stuff was a major calamity in the Florida swing. Hemorrhage strokes off the tee with all that water. This golf course, a lot more open. There is water on the course, not necessarily in the players' peripheries even. So he'll be okay with the accuracy issues that he's been having recently. I think he has figured it out since. He's had 2 really impressive showings the last 2 tournaments. I think he's got his stuff figured out. Last 24 rounds on approach, 6th in the field. Very solid from 175 and out. Not his best suit relative to his approach play, but still adequate and acceptable numbers there. Top 20 in the field. Around the green game, baseline stuff, all great. The Florida swing did him dirty. So his last 24 round numbers aren't necessarily going to reflect exactly how he is playing right now. But we like a lot of his baseline numbers. If he resorts back to how he was playing prior to Florida, these green numbers here without the last 24 are what we're looking for. Par 5 scoring, 9th. Birdie or better, 11th. And he's only going to be $9,700 and 11% owned in DraftKings. He's the least owned guy in almost the upper 9K range here, which I love. Absolutely love that about him. So we'll be playing him in DraftKings as well. So Cameron Tringali better have a good week. Otherwise, the Model Maniac is going to be grumpy next week, Tuesday, when you tune in for episode 23, Wells Fargo. Don't know what the episode name is yet, but we'll figure that out. So yes, welcome to the show, number 1 viewer that's on here watching. We appreciate your viewership, my friend. So yes, next up we have, the mouse is gone because I got confused. Chris Kirk. Love him in DFS. Not a single bet, not a single play on him. Plus 160 for a top 20. Missed out by 7 points. 170, we in. We in the money for a top 20 for Chris Kirk. Recent form, fantastic. Off the tee, doesn't have a lot of distance, but he just hits that nice little ropey draw down the fairway. Going to be, he's not the longest out there, but he's going to be in the fairway a lot. He's going to give himself a lot of opportunities. He's going to be on the right side of the fairway. If that is a thing here, we're not worried about his driving. Still gains off the tee. That's fine. Approach play. We want good approach players at this golf course. That's absolutely what we're looking for from people here. So Chris Kirk, recent 24 rounds, approach 10th. Approach play in general, 11th. Long irons from 175 and out, 6th. Love that about him. Then you get the around the green game. Very, very handy with a wedge in his hand around the greens. Very nice stuff there. Putting recently, not the best. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's in contention on a Sunday and putts disgustingly bad when he's under pressure on Sundays. So we don't really want any of that nonsense, but we'll take him at $9,600. I mean, looking at Trengali at 11%, I think that's just more appealing to me. But we are so exposed on Trengali, it's not even funny right now. Anyway, if you like Chris Kirk, I like him too. Next up, Aaron Wise. We've got Aaron Wise at plus 175 on DraftKings for a top 20. Beautiful stuff. That's where it's going to end. 18% on DraftKings. No, thank you. Top 20 for me is fine. I'll take it. What do we like about Aaron? Makes a ton of birdies, par 5 scoring, great stuff. There's basically 8 par 5s on this golf course. So if you can score on the par 5s, you're in good shape. And Chris Kirk can't necessarily do that well, but he's playing very nice golf at the moment. So Aaron Wise, top 20, plus 175. Beautiful stuff. Handy around the greens. The putter, major concern. Paspalum greens, slower, different country. Who knows what the hell happens over there. Top 20, 175. DraftKings, no bueno. Cam Champ, longest guy in the field. And what do we like about Cam Champ is he's so good from this 175 to 250. He's behind Tony and John Rahm from that distance. Beautiful stuff. Love to see Cam Champ kicking ass from that range. Does okay on the par 5s, does okay with birdie or betters. Nothing too sexy to write home about. The hilarity of this price range is that we've got the longest golfer in the field and then we've got the shortest golfer in the field separated by $100 and most likely 100 yards on the golf course too. Isn't that quite something? I think Cameron Champ he'll be in a different postal code when him and Brendan Todd ever land up playing together, if they do. It would be like playing 2 different golf courses. Insane stuff. So yes, Brendan Todd, 49th in the model, not going to him. Just the distance off the tee is going to just cripple him. Absolutely cripple him. He doesn't hit it far at all. And his approach play has been shite. So no bueno there. The short game can only help not make bogeys, but you need to make birdies, yeah. So he's not the guy that we're looking for, yeah. Even at, 6% owned at $9,300. Whew, okay. Russell Knox. I'm stiff. Yes, he does. Approach play has been a little off lately. He went through a phase where his irons were just peaking, and now they have, and he's kind of plateaued. So his baseline has been beautiful, thanks to a few months ago when he was playing incredible golf. Still playing nicely. Hits his long irons well. Love to see that from him. If you're looking for someone in the $9,200 range, Russell Knox is your guy. Absolutely. 7% owned. Let's go. Excuse me. Plus 275 for a top 20 is just shy of what we're looking for. I think Carlos Ortiz was the last guy to get in at 275, if we were to say that. So Russell Knox, nice DFS guy, $9,200, 7% owned. I like him. Kevin Streelman, also like him a lot. This approach play is sketchy. I understand that. The last 24 rounds does not look good. However, he's starting to play back to his baseline. That last 24 rounds is painted drastically from the Honda and that, I think, the players and a bit of a Valspar where there was a bunch of water in play. And I think it also was, I had it up a little bit ago, it was the American, I don't know what the hell it was. He had a really, really bad tournament, and that's still included in the last 24. It's like the final next week if he makes the cut, his 2 really bad rounds on the Florida swing are going to be out of the mix. So his last 24 is going to be much better. It's kind of crazy how that just works that way. So Kevin Streelman, $9,100. Love that. 6% owned. Even better. Sign me up for Kevin Streelman. Not necessarily the worst off the tee at all. He's actually got very good accuracy for a guy that's got decent amount of distance. Solid approach play. Tidy around the greens. Can putt, can chip, can do the whole shebang. Just an all-round package. We like that from Kevin Streelman. Ownership's nice. Matt Jones at 9K, 12%. Love him. we have Matt Jones for a first round leader, I believe. Excuse me. Yeah, at 66-1. So Matt Jones makes the card at 66-1. Why? Matt Jones, 10th in distance off the tee. Wide fairways, think of Kapalua. Doesn't get himself in trouble off the tee. Gets multiple approach shots from the fairway so that he can just build his confidence in his irons, and then he just gets hot, and then he just rides it. And then he gains 5.7 strokes and then 6.7 strokes at Tournament of Champions this year. He can just get hot. He's around the green game. He can chip in from anywhere. His putting has been very bad lately, but he's typically a decent putter when he's putting confidently. I think at the Honda, he was missing 2 feet putts. It was just a disgusting performance from Matt Jones. Par 5 scoring, beautiful stuff. Absolutely stunning stuff from Matt Jones there. So hopefully he can just dominate the first round. Then we're in business. I don't know if he has the ability to put together 4 impressive rounds together. Sit together twice, get it together, Byron. But I think he can do it in 1 round for sure. If it's a good enough round, who knows? Maybe he can do it like he did at the Honda 2 years ago, where 1 first round just absolutely won him the tournament. So yes, Matt Jones, 66-1, first round leader. Let's go. The guy can just pop. Insane stuff. Doug Gim, love him. Dougie, 8% at 8,900, leads off the $8,000 price range. Approach play, baseline, distance, 175 to 250, all top 10 stuff. Love to see that from Doug Gim. Putty around the greens, putter, major concern. Major concern. But his ball striking is good. It's good. It helps him score. Birdies, he hits tight. Then he misses half his putts. But he keeps hitting it tight. So that's what we love about Doug Gim. Distance, bit of a concern. However, off the tee, 26. So the distance isn't that big of a deal if you're always in the fairway, which it seems like he is. So that's good. Sahith Theegala. I am doing a bad job of color coding here because I know that we have him for now first round leader as well at 75-1. So Theegala, 75-1. Pretty much the same blueprint as Matt Jones. Big distance off the tee, capable of getting really fancy with the short game. Not necessarily the best approach player in the world. Very volatile guy. Very volatile. That last 24 rounds has got good approach and bad approach all baked in there. And the very bad is very bad. And the good is good. So that's the thing with him. I mean, look at his general baseline is 46. So there's some really bad rounds in there. He also played a bunch in the Florida courses. So those courses can absolutely dominate your last 24-round stat profile if you're not careful. Tidy around the greens. Makes a lot of birdies, $8,800, 8%. Likes Sahith Theegala, and he's a first-round leader at 75-1. Let's ride, Sahith. He hits it so far. Fourth in distance. Cameron Champ, Tony Finau, not even. Who's the second? And we got, Wyndham. Wow. Okay. We'll get there. Easy. Aaron Rai. Lots of people like Aaron Rai. Not necessarily popping too much in my model, other than his last 24 rounds of approach. Very nice stuff there from Mr. Rai. Carlos Ortiz, on the other hand, did not make the Breaking 100 article that I wrote. Go check that out on rotoballer.com, folks, or my pinned tweet on my handle. Go check that out. It's got all the write-ups, all the stats, all the shizness that you're looking for. Carlos Ortiz never made that because I put all my bets in personally before Daniel Berger withdrew, and then his withdrawal squeezed Carlos Ortiz out of our allotment of budget for outrights. He is in my personal betting card at at 100-1. Nothing about his last 24 rounds is going to blow you away. In fact, it's going to put you off. That's probably why he's 100-1. However, his baseline sets up perfectly for this golf course. His proximity numbers from 175 and out are the 4th best in the field. We love that. And he's 100-1. He's got a decent approach baseline as well. He's been playing okay with his irons. Get him to a Mexican golf course. He's from Mexico. I want to see him play. He typically plays well out of the United States. Let's see what he can do here. Let's see what he can do. Look at the par 4 scoring, 4th in the field. 30 or better, 13. So there's a lot to like about Carlos Ortiz's game. 13th in distance off the tee. So he's got all the X factors in his baseline. His current form is waning. Now, we all know that you just go to a place that you like. Next thing, ta-da, you're playing like you were. So, Carlos Ortiz, 100 to 1, outright leader, winner, the whole shebang, and plus 275 on DraftKings for a top 20. Carlos Ortiz. 4th in prox numbers from 175. 4th in par 5 scoring. Beautiful stuff there. Love to see that. Then, Lanto Griffin, $8,300, 9% owned. Nice approach play recently. Can putt pretty decent when he wants to, and has got some decent distance. He's just an okay play. Not going to spend too much time mentioning anything with him. CT Pan, on the other hand, as well. $8,100, 8% owned, and his recent approach play is also looking very nice. Very, very nice. Tidy around the greens. Putting is okay. Nothing too crazy there. Love where his approach play is right now. Absolutely. I mean, his recent 24 rounds is just incredible. He's 7th in the field. Guys coming in here hot to trots, 8% owned in $8,100. Got a decent amount of distance off the tee. Yes. CT Pan. Let's go. Absolutely CT. Then we get Mark Hubbard, who's going to be let out the cupboard here. His recent approach play is 24th, 29th in the field. Putting lights out at the moment. And he is a good putter in general. So if it turned into a putting contest, he's your guy. Dominates the par 5s, 10% owned at 8K. I mean, if we're getting different down in the 7s, yeah, maybe that's as much as we wanted. I mean, we were dodging Matt Jones at, 12? Why would we go to Mark Hubbard at 10% ownership? I don't know. So that's what's going on there. Anaban, Chad Ramey, Adam Long, blah, blah, blah. None of these guys, they never got highlighted because their recent approach play, apart from Austin Smotherman. Whoo, boy, that's an interesting one. All not that good. However, Austin Smotherman, jeez, buddy. Look, what on earth was this? Did Dexter Morgan visit these blocks? What on earth is going on with that short game? However, his recent 24 rounds putting isn't that bad. The rest of it is catastrophically bad. So I don't know if I'm going to, oh my God, what do we do with this? He's hitting his irons so much better than his baseline. Nope, he's even out of the cell. Yeah, he's in the blue. I'm not in the mood for Austin Smotherman. Never highlighted him for a reason. Scott Stallings, yes. Scott Stallings. Par 5s, not bad. Just good stuff across the board. Safe play, $7,700, 8% owned. Scott Stallings, Kazi. Let's do it. Patrick Rogers, 9th in distance off the tee. Love that. And his recent approach play is very nice. And then, usually I say this once an episode, when you approach baseline and your proximity, these are both baselines. This is the last 24 rounds. Approach and 175 to 250 are your baselines. When your recent approach play is really good, like this, 24th versus 86th, and then your baseline proximity numbers is way better than your approach baseline, that means that this 34 can probably be even better because your recent iron play is trending upwards. If you know what I'm saying. Proportionally, you can lower that proximity number because your recent form with your irons is much better. Just a thought, just a thing. Patrick Rogers, top 20 in the field and dominating par 5s. $7,600, 6% owned. It's time for Patrick Rogers, bras. Yes. Patrick Rogers to Pat Perez is a smooth transition. However, Patty Perez just been dominating the short game. Short game baselines, 5th in the field, around the green, top 20, top 11, all that jazz. Putting very well, nicely, very nicely well. Whatever you want to use those two words in a sentence together. Doesn't make as many birdies as you'd like, but his par 5 scoring is very, very nice, probably because of his handy-dandy short game. Doesn't have the length of the tee, but you know what? We like a lot of Pat Perez at 23rd in the model. And what is his ownership? $7,500. So yeah, Pat Perez, absolutely a DFS play. Throw him in one of those John Rahm lineups. We're going to need all these guys in the 75, 76s. Nate Lashley, similar situation. He's hitting his irons a lot better than Pat. 26th in the last 24 rounds, and he hits those long irons real nicely. Absolutely love that from Pat Perez. Par 5 scoring, not necessarily the best, but, you know, it is what it is. You can't 7% own $7,500. Cool stuff. Brian Stewart. Distance, major issue. However, this is a different situation to Brendan Todd because I'm willing to go to Brian Stewart at $7,300 versus I think what Brendan Todd was 93. So we're going to skip all the way down $2,000 to get to Brian Stewart. And we can see that Brian Stewart's putting, not as good as Brendan Todd's, but his iron play is so good right now. And his long irons aren't bad. For a guy that hits it as short as he does off the tee, his long irons are really good. So I think he's a sneaky play at $7,300, 4% owned. Got a tidy short game. Recent putting being a bit of a problem. It's okay. Slower greens. Let's get back on track, guys. Back on track. He's always going to be in the fairway. You know, just playing good golf. Long golf course, going to be a contrarian play for sure. I don't see a lot of people going to Brian Stewart because of his length. However, I think his irons make up for that entirely. So I'm cool with Brian Stewart. Tyler Duncan seems like a crowd favorite here in the $7,200 range, and I agree with people. 8% owned, $7,200. Recent chipping and putting, very not bad. The putting actually kind of catastrophic. Not ideal. But what do we like about Tyler? I mean, he's not bad from 175 and out. That's very nice to see. Decent approach play recently. Distance is a hindrance, but he does gain off the tee. He's accurate. So I don't know. You know, whatever. He's turquoise. Then Joseph Bramlett, the opposite. Playing very nicely with his irons recently. Hits it beautifully from far away, from 175 and out. Good scoring there. Putting. Disgusting. Absolutely terrible. Holy cow, my dude. What is going on? Can't putt, but putting is one of the most volatile stats on tour. He's 9% owned at $7,100. Bit of a weird situation, so I won't be going to him as much as we like. But you see, he's 20th in the model because of his distance, because of his par 5 scoring, because of his proximity numbers from 175 and out. That's what we like about Joseph Bramlett. 9% owned, seems like a popular player as well. Chase Seaford as well. Like him, look at those proximity numbers. Fantastic stuff, and he's been putting really nicely lately. So we'll see what cooks with Chase. Do like him. 7% owned. I'm going to make him this color as well because we like him. Nick Taylor is not in the field. Ignore that. Kurt Katayama, hitting his irons really nicely lately. Putting okay lately. Par 5 scoring a problem. I'm out. Well, I don't even know why I'm reading his name. Danny Lee, though. Do like Danny Lee. Look at this proximity numbers from 175 and out. Woo, Danny boy. Looking good. And he's off the tee stuff. He's got decent length off the tee. It's the short game that's a bit of a concern, major concern actually, but he's $7,100. You know, what we're going to do, stack John Rahm at the top and just, I think I worked it out that I can get 3 cheap guys under $7,500, and then you can get 2 guys in the upper eights and John Rahm. So that's how that works. And if we go heavy, just do a full 20 entry max with John Rahm, put him in there for all 20, and then just cycle through the guys at the bottom. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. So, cool. Danny Lee. Robert Streb, recent approach play, fantastic stuff, and does really nicely on the par 5s. So that's beautiful. Putting, decent baseline, struggling to putt lately. 7K, let's ride with Robert Streb. John Last 24 rounds, nice stuff on the approach. Distance off the tee issue for John, but, you know, He's consistent. That's all you can ask for. Been putting really nicely lately and does well in the par fives. That's what's going on there. Then Luke Donald, approach play has been fantastic, but my word, he's so bad off the tee. It's not even that his distance is being sacrificed for accuracy. He's just skew and crap off the tee. This isn't the golf course for him. As good as he hits these long irons and as good as his irons are, he's going to be hitting so far, and he doesn't make a lot of birdies. So if you're playing him in DFS, he can make the cut and like score the least amount of points out of everyone. It's just happened to me too many times. Not the course for Luke Donald. Thought I'd mention his approach game though. Very nice stuff. Starting to putt like a bit better too. Roger Sloan, like him too. His recent approach play is very nice. Does nicely on the par fives. Makes a decent chunk of birdies, and he's 32nd ranked. Oh, Hank Lebioda almost snuck by. We're going to have to chat about him too. Excuse me. Let me just do that. But Roger Sloan, 32nd ranked, and I like him at $6,600. Roger Sloan. What is it about Roger Sloan? He's got a really good approach baseline. Very nice approach baseline. Decent putting, a bit of a disaster, but we're willing to look over that for sure because, it's past Parliament Green, slower stuff. Going to be an interesting play. I love him as a salary saver down here in the $6,600. And the same goes for Hank Lebioda, who has a really good, solid approach baseline, hits his long irons nicely, can putt really well, and dominates par fives, but hasn't been doing a lot of that lately. So that's the concern with Hank. We'll be going to him a little bit at $6,700. We can sprinkle these guys in, like 10% ownership on him is fine. That's all we want, just 2 or 3 lineups. So that's what's going on there. Haven't got anybody else highlighted at the bottom because it's a disaster down here. So won't be getting too deep into the 6,700s. I think Roger Sloan is our guy. Really like Roger Sloan down there. Really, really do that. So yeah, nice kind of short, quick episode here to down back 9 bets. Thanks for joining in. We miss you guys, and we'll chat to you guys on episode 23 next week. Catch y'all later.